Now on CoastTV News.
Clearing the way for wind. Democrats in the Delaware State Senate continue efforts to deny a Sussex County decision on the wind farm project. Funds to fight flooding, why Fenwick Island's officials are facing money issues to deal with a continuing problem.
This is CoastTV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Matt Pensick and welcome to CoastTV News Midday. Our top story is in the Delaware State Senate. That's where Bill 159, that's the controversial piece of legislation that could clear the way for the construction of an electric substation in Millsboro. It's all part of the offshore wind project proposed for our coast. The bill changes Delaware State Code to prohibit counties from denying conditional use permits for electrical substations that meet certain conditions, which is exactly what the Sussex County Council did in December. If this bill eventually becomes law, it would nullify the Sussex County decision.
Some people claim that this bill overrides local control, but it doesn't do that because the county councils they decide zoning. They've already decided on the zoning. They just need to abide by it.
It really sets a dangerous precedent to say, hey, if the state doesn't like how your local representatives make a decision, then we now have a precedent to show where we can overrule that one decision that we don't like.
All the bill sponsors are Democrats. The Senate is scheduled to convene this afternoon at 2. In Ocean City, the turbine part of this project appears to be moving forward. It was late last week that the Maryland environmental officials signed off on the final permit for alternative energy company U.S. Wind. It's the last step needed from the state before any construction can start. The company wants to build over 100 wind turbines, roughly 10 miles offshore. There is a 30-day window to file an appeal. Let's go live now to southern Milford area on this muggy Tuesday afternoon. Lots of gray there. Our First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey joins us now with a look at First Alert weather. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning, Matt. The sun's trying to poke through that overcast, and we've had, two weather hazards today. We began the day with dense fog, and then an area of rain moving through earlier, especially east of 113. That's where you had some heavier rain, and now that rain has moved off to the northeast, and we're seeing mainly cloudy skies, but some breaks from time to time. The sun's trying to pop out. It looks like we are seeing some clearing now across the eastern shore as we're watching this rain moving offshore. There is a little clearing back to the west, so I think we will have a window where we'll see some hazy sunshine this afternoon, and we're tracking a couple of cold fronts, and that could trigger some storms later today. Warming up nicely, mid to upper 70s inland and lower 70s at the coast right now with a southwesterly breeze. It's mild and muggy, and as we go into the afternoon, could see a few more showers popping up and maybe some thunderstorms as well, some with torrential rain and maybe some gusty winds as we go into the afternoon hours. We'll see clouds, we'll see some breaks as well, and we still have that storm threat, I think, as we go into the evening hours. Your day part forecast showing some peaks of sun this afternoon with temperatures in the lower 80s. A low chance of severe weather. I'll talk about that. I'll also have more on a big warm up. It's going to be hot by the end of the week. Much more in your forecast coming up a little bit later in the newscast.
Thank you, Bob. Flooding near the Bayside, it's been happening for years in Fenwick Island, and today the town's infrastructure committee discussing ways to deal with the issue. Town was expecting money from the Federal Infrastructure and Communities Program to help with solutions, but the Trump administration has ended that program. People living in Fenwick Island hope they can still find ways to fix the issue.
Hoping sometime that maybe bulkheads can be raised and taken care of that.
Council is meeting this morning to discuss potential options. Got some shocking video from overnight. Los Angeles riots continued over efforts to deport illegal migrants. Mary Bell Gonzalez shows us the Trump administration's reinforcement is about to get a legal challenge.
Another standoff in Los Angeles during the fourth day of demonstrations in response to immigration raids across the area. Law enforcement agents throwing flashbangs and firing rubber bullets at a crowd of protesters in the downtown area. Military officials say approximately 1,700 National Guardsmen are on the ground, with an additional 2,000 to be sent by President Donald Trump to protect federal property and personnel. This deployment at the center of a political showdown between the state and federal governments.
Judge Governor Newsom and the Democratic leaders of California weren't quick enough to act. I think President Trump did exactly the right thing.
California Governor Gavin Newsom declaring the call-up of the troops unconstitutional and is now suing the Trump administration.
With this order, Trump and Hegseth ignored law enforcement's expertise and guidance and trampled over our state's, California's, sovereignty.
And now more reinforcement could be on the way. The U.S. Northern Command activating about 700 Marines.
I can't emphasize enough the level of fear and terror that is in Angelenos right now, not knowing if tomorrow or tonight it might be where they live, it might be their workplace. Should you send your kids to school?
Maribel Gonzalez, Los Angeles.
Happening today, we should learn more about the health of the Chesapeake Bay and its watershed. University of Maryland Center for Environmental Science will release its report card on the bay. Researchers there assessed ecosystems, and officials say it will help with policy throughout the Chesapeake Bay region. In 2024, the Bay and watershed earned a score of a C+. In Milford, discussion over bridge replacement projects. DelDOT says it is planning to replace 2 bridges near Maple Avenue and Southeast Front Street. The agency is hosting a public workshop at 4 p.m. at the Public Works building, and it's also a virtual option for this. Coming up, oyster industry improvements, the areas researchers are focusing on to help maintain populations. CoastTV News today, or Midday, is back after this. We have an update on a proposed development in Selbyville. According to the agenda for the Sussex County Council meeting for today, the application for Marlin Cove is withdrawn. Marlin Cove would have brought 106 multi-family homes to Selbyville. Developers were asking for a zoning change to medium-density residential and conditional use for about 24 acres of land near New Road and Lighthouse Road. Maryland's Oyster Advisory Commission is discussing the future of oysters in the Chesapeake Bay. This week, the commission reviewed a set of 2025 goals focused on improving oyster habitat, maintaining populations, and supporting sustainable harvesting. The targets include restoring at least 1,800 acres of oyster reef, oyster abundance, sustaining that throughout the fishing and farming area, and keeping existing reefs healthy. Coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network at 8:30, Decatur takes on Parkside. That's in girls basketball. Then catch the final score at 10:30. And on the DSM Plus app, you get that game along with these exclusives at 6 p.m. It's the Blue Gold baseball game along with Crown Sports Center basketball. And then at 7:30, Wrench Plumbing takes on East Coast Titans in baseball.
We're taking a live look at Cambridge right now. Lots of clouds on the FH Fur Camp. 79 already, and we're headed into the low 80s. It's muggy. It's warm out there. We are watching for the potential some stronger storms this afternoon and this evening, then much drier Wednesday with a hot end to the week. Congratulations to Ed Marcel from Milton. He has a new umbrella from Paul Davis and Coast TV. More on the threat for severe weather and your warmer work week forecast coming up next. We're seeing lots of clouds on our Tuesday morning. We started the day with lots of thick fog across Sussex County earlier, and then a round of showers came through, and we're getting a little break now. Here's the Tyndall's Casual Furniture Camp. 76 in Laurel, lots of clouds. It's warm and muggy. I think we're headed into the low 80s this afternoon, and with the heating and a cold front headed our way, I think we could be looking at some showers and storms. We're still hanging on to a dense marine fog advisory until noon from Fenwick Island up to Lewis and the inland bays as well. We had one until 11 for Sussex County where we had that thick fog earlier, but that has since lifted and the visibility is good. Here are some of those showers that came through this morning. We had them from Salisbury to Georgetown and Lewis. The heaviest of those were right along the coast from Ocean View down to Ocean Pines and even Point South, and some rumbles of thunder too. But now we're getting a little break now. It's just muggy with mainly cloudy skies, maybe a glimpse of sun here and there on the visible satellite picture. You can see maybe around Snow Hill a little bit of sunshine for you and Salisbury as well. We are seeing another pop-up shower around American Corner and up into the Harrington area. And I think that'll be the case as we go into the afternoon with this very muggy air mass in place. Any kind of sunshine definitely could trip off a shower or storm as we're seeing the bulk of the activity moving offshore right now. We are seeing some clearing back to our west through D.C., so I think we will get into some hazy sunshine. Then there is a cold front we're watching across the Ohio Valley. That will be heading our way slowly. And once again, ahead of that, we could be looking at some showers and storms storms. And then behind it, we're looking at much drier air now building in across the Midwest. And that's our weather tomorrow. Lots of sunshine and lower humidity. But right now it feels kind of soupy out there and mild with mid to upper 70s inland, 76 Dagsboro, Rehoboth 73, Millsboro 77. We've got a southwesterly breeze, not especially strong. So as we go through the afternoon, some peaks of sun and still a random shower or thunderstorm. And later today, maybe some damaging winds with some of these storms and very heavy rain, maybe a cell around southwest Sussex County around 4 p.m. And I think that chance could continue into this evening as that front is still to our west through the overnight hours, maybe one last shower before midnight. And then as we go into your Wednesday, we'll start to clear out the skies. We'll lower the humidity. And it's going to be a gorgeous day. And temperatures low to mid 80s around the noon hour, inland 70s and 80s at the coast, and mid 80s as we go into the afternoon, but much more comfortable. There is a threat for damaging winds as we go into this evening, a low threat of seeing severe weather. I think the chances, once again, are pretty low. And we're looking at Wednesday through Friday with warm conditions, low humidity tomorrow, but then the humidity increases the end of the week, and the heat too, maybe our first 90-degree reading as we go into your Thursday. We're looking at clouds and unfortunately another unsettled weekend, maybe some showers and storms. I'm hoping we dry it out for Dad on Father's Day, but the rain won't be far away. Maybe we can salvage part of the weekend. Our muggy meter, we get a little break from the humidity Wednesday, but then the rest of the week is pretty mild and muggy with lower 80s from Laurel to Georgetown and Millsboro today. 79 in Rehoboth, Eastern Shore, low to mid 80s. Watch out for a pop-up shower or storm with gusty winds. And lower 80s from Salisbury to Chincoteague and Ocean City. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, much drier Wednesday, 84, 89 Thursday, Friday 86, and then Saturday showers and storms, 80 degrees, and hopefully drier, a little cooler for Dad on Sunday and a high of 76.
Thank you, Bob. And here's what you can expect this afternoon on Coast Life at 4.
Hope you're having a good day so far here at Coast Life, but we want you to join us today at 4 o'clock because we've got even more fun for you coming your way. You know, all the amazing outfits that I've been rocking from Water Lily are available at either boutique in Bethany or Ocean View, but we're going to introduce you to the shoes as well as the Ocean View store. You definitely don't want to miss that. Plus Tuesday, of course, a great debate. We're going to see what we agree on, what we disagree on with yet another guest host. And June is Pride Month. We're going to find out how the town of Milton is celebrating. All that fun and more is coming up today at 4 on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
U.S. imports from China are dropping at a rate not seen since the start of the pandemic. Imports from China fell by more than 20% last month. That's according to a new report from a company that analyzes data from Customs and Border Protection. American ports have seen big declines in cargo volume since President Trump slapped tariffs on most U.S. imports in April. Senate leaders are calling for an audit over air traffic safety following the January mid-air collision at D.C.'s Reagan National Airport. The crash, you may remember, killed 67 people, and it did raise questions about safety issues at the airport. Alongside the investigation into the crash, the airport has run into a number of air traffic control issues and safety incidents. Still ahead, cancer concern. The new research attempting to combat cancer of the uterus. Stay with us on Coast TV News today. Cases of cancers of the uterus and the death rate from these diseases are on the rise in the U.S. according to the American Cancer Society. Mindy Gaither shows us the warning signs every woman should know and has more on new research to combat the disease.
It's one of the few cancers with a rising death rate in the U.S. This year alone, an estimated 69,100 new cases of cancers of the uterus will be diagnosed, and more than 13,800 women are expected to die from these diseases.
With early stage diagnosis, we're able to have better outcomes.
Dr. Christina Butler with the Mayo Clinic says currently there are no screening tests for uterine cancer in women who don't have any signs or symptoms. That's why she says knowing warning signs is important. Those include abnormal vaginal discharge or bleeding, bleeding after menopause or between menstrual cycles, and pain or pressure in the pelvis.
Vaginal secretions, whether a woman is bleeding or not, contain valuable DNA particles that allow us to detect cancer or precancer in women.
Mayo Clinic researchers are currently studying a way to detect cancers of the uterus at home using a medical tampon, which a study participant briefly inserts and then mails off for analysis. Butler says this potential screening test could be less invasive than those used if uterine cancer symptoms are present, which includes a biopsy of the uterus or pelvic exam.
I would say we're very close to having this available for women. I would say within the next 5 years.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Otherwise, we're seeing gray skies right now in Ocean View on the gutter helmet cam. Looks like it's raining out in the ocean. We're getting a little break as we go into the afternoon. Temperatures in the upper 70s, but more showers and storms, muggy the rest of the day. Maybe into this evening, some stronger storms. Dries out on Wednesday, then a hot end to the week. Call the Coast TV First Alert weather phone. The number is 443-880-9100 for your latest forecast. Sponsored by Brockstead Mandalis Federico. Your 10-day forecast is next. If you're going outside this afternoon, I would grab the sunglasses and the raincoat. I think you'll need both. We'll see peaks of sun, but also that chance of showers and some storms, I think, into the evening hours, even though you don't see a little lightning icon here. Maybe some damaging winds and heavy rain with a few of those storms this evening. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. We dry it out. Beautiful Wednesday. Lower humidity 84, flirting with 90 on Thursday. I'm going 89, 86 Friday. Weekend, not great, but not terrible. Showers and storms Saturday. Hopefully a little drier for Dad on Sunday, and then more rain and storms into early next week, and then back into the mid-80s by Thursday, Matt.
Thanks, Bob, and thank you for being with us here on Coast TV News Midday. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app, and don't forget to join us later for Coast TV News at 5. Until then, have a great day, everybody.